Guys, what we've been waiting for is finally here. The meta for making money online is changing rapidly right before our eyes. And what I thought I would do is I want to show you guys quickly the cheat codes to success so that you can be the pioneers making the big money in this next shift in the environment. See, a lot of us get caught up in buying all these courses and looking for these biz ops and skills that are going to be the cheat code to us making a ton of money online. And I mean, who could blame us, right? It's exciting. It's much easier to put your faith in something new and shiny than it is to face the harsh reality of how things actually work. What I thought I would do in honor of the environment changing is to share with you guys what I believe to be the actual cheat codes to success. And cheat codes is kind of a lie because there really is no cheat code, meaning fast, easy, safe way to success. Success is going to come with risk. It's going to come with challenges. That's what makes it worth it. What kind of story is it that doesn't go through a challenge? You'd never go watch a movie where the main character doesn't struggle at some point to achieve what they want, because that would be a boring movie. And real world is no different. If you're looking for a cheat code to win, it's just not going to happen. In fact, the only cheat code to winning is the longest path. And the quickest fix is usually the longest path, the thing that actually works. And so I just thought I would share with you guys what I believe to actually work. And I wish someone shared this with me a long time ago. And how I found this was I had to piece together a lot of theories from my own journey to success and a lot of work from Sam Ovens from like 7 years ago, trying to piece together how he thinks so that I can learn to think like that, so that I can make as much money as he did, hopefully. And more importantly, have the impact. That's what matters. So without further ado, let us go over the quote-unquote cheat codes to success. So here's a simple diagram that I made for a couple videos back, and I'll explain it to you guys who are just listening. But in order to succeed, you have to start with first principles. So if you're not looking at the screen right now, we have 3 blocks. The first block is first principles. These are the quote-unquote laws of gravity, the things that do not change. They never change no matter what happens in the environment, no matter what new technology, first principles don't change. What goes up must come down, laws of gravity. A quick example would be, let's say someone uses a red arrow in a thumbnail. The tactic would be using a red arrow in the thumbnail. But why does the arrow work? What is the first principles? That's because red is like evolutionary color that tells us to pay attention. Because blood is red, big scary things are red, ambulances are red. We pay attention to red. It signals that something important is going on. And an arrow, just by the shape of it, tells us where to look. And so a red arrow brings your focus to something immediately. And so it grabs your attention. It makes it good for a thumbnail. But the environment changes. So first principles is the things that don't change, meaning like red and an arrow are the first principles to grab attention. But is that always going to work? No, because it's a tactic. And tactics are built on the second block, which is environment. So the first block is first principles. The second block is environment. So the environment shifts left and right on top of first principles. And the environment is always changing. Think about the environment that we live in as far as, like weather. The weather is always changing. It never stays the same for a year because the environment changes. The same is true in business space. So certain trends and fads come in and they go away. And that's how it works. But how you get success is by building tactics based on first principles and the current environment. So let's say you want to build an outreach system. But everyone is spamming cold DMs. So what do? You decide to send emails. This is still tactics on an environment. Because what if emails didn't exist? What if Gmail didn't exist? You wouldn't be building any tactics on there because it's part of the environment. And what happens if the environment shifts? What happens if email now blocks cold messaging? And you have got to figure out a new way to do it that avoids like the firewalls. Oh, excuse me, about to sneeze. It's all based on the environment. But first principles would be human nature. So humans love the ping of emails. We love to check it out. But also, just like physical mail, you have a keep pile and you have a discard pile. And so your cold email has to make it into the keep pile, the pile that seems important, the pile that breaks past the subconscious barrier of just being like everything else. And so you have to build a tactic by the subject line. Like, what are you going to say in the email? What's the body copy going to look like? So you see how this is how you achieve success. And the problem is most people, myself included, by default, we're tactic hunters. We don't want to know how someone made the tactic. We don't want to know how someone made the outreach strategy. We just want to copy the outreach strategy and get the results. And that's why we buy technology. That's why we buy other inventions from people. It's not necessarily a bad thing because we're trying to skip all the pain involved in knowing how something works. I don't know how this light switch works. I don't know how a light bulb works, to be honest. I don't know how this camera works. I have no idea. But someone who built it did. And they made a lot of money, and I purchased the tactic. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, someone who builds these things that other people buy, you got to know first principles, and you got to know the environment. So how do you do this? Well, the first step is being aware of it. Just by understanding this, you're already ahead of the game. The second step is you have to start collecting first principles. You've got to find the quote-unquote laws of gravity for business. And you do that by studying what's working. So for instance, if you see these videos from me, or you see a title and one of my titles has 1,000 views, the other ones have 100, analyze why. Why are these videos getting views? And keep asking why until you find the core first principle that cannot be disputed and is true across everything. First principles can never be false. So if you can ever prove it false, it's not a first principle. For example, if you use a red thumbnail in every video, is it always going to work? Are you going to get 1 million views just by using a red thumbnail? No, it's not a first principle. But it's a tactic, a red arrow in the thumbnail, sorry. Second is you have to start noticing when the environment is shifting. And the quickest way to notice this is when the old tactics stop working. I'll talk about this in tomorrow's video, but the info product space is evolving. It's changing like crazy. The environment is shifting right before our eyes. And all the old tactics that didn't used to work, or that used to work, are no longer working. And it's leaving everyone going crazy. Everybody's wondering, why are my leads drying up? Why are we not getting clients using our simple YouTube book a call funnel? It's because, brother, it's shifting. It's changing right before our eyes. And the third step is to build your own tactics. When you have a collection of first principles and you study the environment, you see what's changing right in front of you, you then need to have ideas for tactics. And you're going to come up with 50 tactics and they're all going to fail. But that 51st one might work. And all it takes is a few good tactics that are proprietary to you to make some serious money. These are the cheat codes to making real money, guys. This is how I built my program. The reason why so many guys in Copy Elite get insane results is because I did this for them, for copywriters. I built outreach systems with brand new tactics that are proprietary to me and specific to copywriters. So I built them a path to success and they bought it off of me. But if you want to become the person who's like eternally successful and wins every time, it's by learning how to do this. When you can build the first principles, notice the environment, and then build the tactics on top of them, that's when you're able to win over and over again. And that's why you see people like Iman making $100 million by doing every type of low ticket, high ticket, mid ticket, doing webinars, doing ads. Like, it's because he knows this, guys. He doesn't have some Midas touch. He just understands first principles and the environment, and he builds tactics. That's how it works. So hopefully you guys get some inspiration off of this. I really just want to show you that success doesn't come from copying people. It comes from studying what's working to find the first principles, being aware of the environment, and then building your own tactics to succeed in the new environment. That's how success happens. So I'm going to be trying to do this like rapid fire right now. In tomorrow's video, I'll go over what I think is happening in the info space and my judgments and my ideas for new tactics. But I want to make this video first. You understand where this is coming from. But hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.